In 2005, the Motorola Razr was the most recognizable object in digital culture, a slim, metallic finish that defined the mid-2000s aesthetic. The device saturated the celebrity landscape, appearing in every red carpet event and tabloid spread of the era. But by the early 2010s, that cultural presence had evaporated, and the brand seemingly vanished from the public stage. Most point to January 2007 as the end of the line, the moment the Apple iPhone entered the market and effectively erased the flip phone from the consumer landscape. In the public mind, Motorola became a nostalgia act, a relic that failed to keep pace with the smartphone age. This perception misses what was happening behind the scenes. Motorola did not go bankrupt. They pivoted to build a $60 billion empire that provides the backbone for modern policing and emergency response. The company that once designed fashion accessories is now the unblinking eye of the city, managing the surveillance and data grids that watch over the urban environment. The iPhone's release caused immediate financial bleeding for Motorola's phone division. It became clear that competing in a hardware arms race against Apple would eventually exhaust their capital. This chart clarifies their exit. On the left, volatile margins of the consumer smartphone market. On the right, predictable growth of government infrastructure budgets. Consumer markets rely on fickle trends, where one bad cycle erases growth. Government budgets are shielded from these shifts. Motorola chose to pull the ripcord, spinning off their consumer division and entirely abandoning the smartphone market to Apple and Samsung. They survived by moving into a high-stakes sector where Apple was not interested in competing. To find their new direction, Motorola looked to their original corporate DNA. In the 1920s, the company specialized in mission-critical radio communications, building the first mobile systems for police departments. This sector demands absolute reliability over aesthetics. While a consumer wants new software features, a first responder needs a device that works in a flood or a fire without fail. They translated that vintage engineering philosophy into modern tactical radios, creating a standard for rugged digital hardware used by law enforcement globally. This shift to B2G, business to government, was not a change in identity, but a return to the company's foundational role as a provider of emergency infrastructure. Modern emergency response requires constant coordination between dispatchers and hundreds of officers in the field. Motorola maximized their value by selling a closed ecosystem, where every piece of hardware and software is interconnected. These surveillance grids provide the visual data for that ecosystem, monitoring public spaces through thousands of interconnected lenses. The system uses artificial intelligence to scan these video feeds in real time, identifying firearms and potential threats without a human ever having to watch the screen. When the AI flags a weapon, it instantly routes an alert to the nearest officer's radio and the dispatcher's terminal. Because this software only integrates seamlessly with Motorola hardware, cities that adopt one part of the system are incentivized to buy the entire stack. While consumer tech lives or dies on yearly trends, municipal government contracts provide decades of stability. These are sticky contracts. Once a city integrates its entire emergency infrastructure with one provider, the cost and complexity of switching to a competitor become prohibitive. Here, the upward trajectory of Motorola's revenue is clear. The shaded area represents long-term government contracts, guaranteeing cash flow. This recurring revenue forms an economic moat, protecting the company from market downturns that would devastate a consumer brand. By exiting the smartphone market, Motorola secured a permanent multi-billion-dollar position in the civic fabric of modern cities. Long-term corporate success often lies in the hidden infrastructure that keeps a city functioning. While your old Razr sits in a drawer, the company that built it is operating the active infrastructure outside your window right now. The next time you walk past a security camera or hear a siren, remember that the brand you thought was dead is actually the one keeping watch.